What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Cavanaugh. Today we're going to be going over a Q&A, and it's questions from my Instagram page. You guys can find the link in the description box below. It's at noah.cavanaugh, and I do an Instagram Q&A every Monday. I answer the questions there in short form, but this is going to be a new series on the channel where I just go through and compile them all, sit down and chat with you guys about what those questions and answers are, give you the long form answer, and hopefully give you guys much more detailed descriptions of the things that I talk about and mention in the Instagram Q&A. So without further ado, guys, let's hop into the video. All right, so I've got them all written down on my phone, so we're just gonna go through top to bottom, no particular order of importance here. We're just gonna chat about a few different things. So first question, is working out lower body more important than working upper body as a footballer? I think total body fitness is really, really important. It is really important that you make sure the lower body is really strong and secure, because that's what's gonna give you the best possible chance of succeeding in your footballing game, especially when you are in the pros and as you move up. When you're a youth player, I think working out total body is really important. Working out total body as a pro is really important too, but your upper body becomes less and less important as you get older, in my opinion. Obviously, you use your arms and stuff and you want your core to be really strong, but I don't think it's really necessary to have huge pecs or big shoulders or a super strong cobra back or anything like that. Like, there's no reason why you would need to have that as a footballer. But I would say your lower body, the stability of your lower body, all the little muscles that help with proprioceptively challenging environments, especially in different types of pitches and when you get knocked off the ball, your balance, all that sort of stuff is super important to have a strong lower body. I would say short answer, yes. Long answer is it's more complicated, but make sure you're working on your entire body. I would recommend, depending on where in the year you are, so whether you're in season or out of season, I would say be doing at least 1 to 2 lower body sessions and then 1 upper body and core session per week. It's really important, even in the season where you're in games and stuff, make sure you're doing maintenance, make sure you're doing that stuff. I would say if you want a hard gym workout and you just like being a gym rat for every once in a while, go hard on your upper body, not on your lower body, because you're going to want your lower body to be as fresh as possible. Something to keep in mind. Second question, how to train in-season conditioning without affecting game performance. So what I assume you mean by conditioning is sprint stuff and or your cardio. By the time you get in season, you don't need any other conditioning. You'll be playing games every weekend, you'll be doing things that are really challenging conditioning wise, and I think it's very important that you give your body the rest it needs. So I would not be training conditioning in season. That's off season, post season, preseason work, and oftentimes for a lot of clubs during preseason you'll be doing fitness tests and stuff which will get your conditioning up. I would say honestly, as I've gotten older, I've done less and less conditioning, even focused more and more on tactical and technical pieces of your football. So I think, again, it is what it is, but if you're young and you want to run, go on distance runs, do sprints and stuff, I think it's fine, but I would really listen to your body and make sure that you're not overtraining, because that can be something that happens when you do conditioning. I would not train, short answer is I would not train conditioning in season. What I would do is just focus on doing tons of really good runs and working really hard when you're in a training session with your club. Question number 3, how long do you have left with your recovery? Well, thank you for asking. Today is Friday the 23rd. On Tuesday of this next week, so in about 5 days, I've got my surgery appointment, which I will be vlogging the whole thing. You'll see that video come up probably in the next week or so from when this video releases, and I will be ready to go, hopefully, to start running on grass and softer types of environments, and then I will be starting to play again, hopefully in about 2 to 3 weeks, at least getting touches in and at least getting some sprints in at the field. So I am very close. I'm this close. It's been 11 and a half weeks, almost 12 weeks now since I had surgery, so I'm very excited to be at the tail end of that recovery. So thank you so much for asking. I appreciate you checking in. It's very cool. Next question, where do you purchase all your top tier boots from? That's an awesome question as well. So it depends on what I'm looking for, and it depends on where I am in the world. So when I'm in Australia, oftentimes I purchase from Ultra Football because they're an Australian company. I'd say if you're purchasing in the US, soccer.com is the best because they have all the top tier boots, except for they don't do very many soft ground variations. So Pro Direct or Unisport is better for that. But I would say if you're in the United States and want boots really fast, soccer.com is the best. Soccer.com is what I use most of the time when I'm here. Pro Direct ships worldwide and they're out of the UK. They're amazing. Unisport also ships worldwide. They're also amazing. I've been to their headquarters and some of their other stores. Unisport is one of my favorites, and they've got a YouTube channel as well, so love to support the fellow creators and stuff. So those are kind of the 4 big ones. I don't know anything about the markets in Asia or anywhere else in Europe. Obviously, Pro Direct and Unisport are in the UK, so that's pretty easy to get to anywhere else in Europe. But I would say if you're in the US, soccer.com is probably the best unless you need soft ground boots. And if you need soft ground boots, go to Pro Direct is probably your best bet, or go to Unisport and see if they have any soft grounds. That's kind of where I get my top tier boots. It just depends on what you need, what you're looking for, and you can find them kind of anywhere online. And nowadays, really, like most athletic company websites, Dick's Sporting Goods, other places like that in the United States at least, will have top tier boots that you can get sometimes for under retail price and under value of what you'd pay at one of the bigger soccer boot stores. Are all the money you got from to buy new cleats from your football salary? Yes and no. It depends on what I'm doing. So if it's through, now that I have a YouTube channel and my website and the business stuff all set up, that money comes through the business. So to review boots, oftentimes I don't necessarily pay for them, quote unquote. So I'll buy them, return them, and exchange them. So that money, yes, is sort of invested in whatever purchasing I'm doing at the time, but I'm technically not buying the boots because I would get that cash back into my account if I wanted to stop paying for any boots. When I buy a boot to play in, that's either money that I've made from soccer salary, football salary, or it's money that I've made outside of the football salary. But that, yes, that comes from me. The other thing that's also happened is teams will also say, here's a voucher for a local soccer store. I drive half an hour out to a soccer store in California where I'm playing. LA Force actually did this for us. They said, hey, you could, once a season you can get a brand new pair of boots. And I went and I got a pair of the electric yellow Phantom Venoms, I believe, that were awesome. Again, some teams will do that if they don't have like a boot sponsor. When I play for the Seattle Sounders in the next couple of years, they are Adidas sponsored, so they've got a whole boot locker, and basically you can go in and choose whatever boots you want. So none of those players necessarily have custom boots, but they'll get free Adidas boots, and then you have to pay out of your own salary if you want Nike or Diadora or Puma or anything like that. So that's something to keep in mind as well. How hard is it to play in the NPL? It depends, but it is difficult. I think the NPL is a really good level, and I think that there are a lot of really talented players in the NPL. I think if you're coming from the United States, it's a great option for those guys who are right on the cusp of being either USL1 NISA level, or they're recovering from injury and they want to get back into the USL Championship or the MLS level. I think NPL can be super, super competitive when you get in the right league. Obviously, the National Premier League they have NPL1 leagues in every single state. I'm familiar more with East Coast and West Coast. I don't know about Northern Territory and Southern Australia. I don't know what their NPL looks like. I don't know what the level looks like, but I do know that the East Coast is really good. The West Coast is, I would say, just maybe half a step below that as far as overall competition. Obviously, you have the greatest caliber players, you've got awesome coaches and all that stuff, but I would say the East Coast, just because of where the population is, most of the population's on the East Coast, that's where the really high level competitive NPL levels are. So those are awesome. I chose to go to Perth because that's the opportunity that I got. Super thankful for that, and it is a really good level. And then the follow-up to that question from the same individual, I believe, is NPL professional? So no, short answer, no, but I would argue that if you make enough to live, you are a professional player in the National Premier League, which is I would argue is a semi-professional league, because you've got guys that don't make enough to live and you've got guys that are making a couple thousand a week. So it just depends, again, on where you're at and how much money you're making and what level you are and what team you're on and all that stuff. There's a ton of different factors. The league is not professional, fully professional, but there are absolutely professional players in the league, and there are also players who are semi-professional who make a little bit of a wage page. I don't know, I genuinely don't know unless they've volunteered such. I don't know any players who aren't paid in the NPL. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And a great opportunity for players to come over to Australia and make a little cash playing football. Difference abroad to USA. So if you didn't see the vlog that I produced, probably it'll be about a week ago when this video is published, go check that one out, because it is the 5 biggest challenges that I think of playing abroad, and the 5 biggest things that I would say are the most difficult, and then I've offered solutions for all 5 of those based on my experience playing in Denmark, Spain, Australia, and a couple other places in Europe just for like short trips and stuff. So difference abroad to the USA, I would say it comes down to money, and so like capitalism and the way that businesses work in the United States, and then I'd also say it comes down to a little bit of playing style. So obviously it depends on where you are in the country, what level it is, so MLS, USL Championship, USL1 or NISA or below even, how much you're paid, what the setup is there on the team that you're trying out for or you're currently signed with. I would say that the infrastructure of the way that the cash flow happens in other countries seems to me much more equitable. So as soon as you, like, every player just gets paid as they get paid. There's corruption everywhere, to be honest, and I think that can be really daunting for some players who don't understand that. But what I would say is it comes down to the money stuff. That's the difference between here and the US, and then playing style, and then just attitudes towards football. I think when you live in another country, Australia not so much, but especially in Denmark and Spain, football is everything. Like, that's their biggest sport. That's what they pay so much attention to. Oftentimes there's a lot of fans at the game, so that's really cool. So it's more of an ethos thing of the culture itself as opposed to just a per team by team basis. So there's much more of a focus on football or soccer, I guess, in other countries outside of the United States, Australia, Canada, I imagine, as well, and some other places. Final question: how did you get an agent? So, as for those of you who don't know and are watching this, I am signed with an agency called Ottawa Pro Sports Management, or OPSM. They are fantastic. They have been really good to me, and I have enjoyed working with them for the last, God, it's been almost 3 years now since I first contacted them. So how did you get an agent? That's an easy question. I just contacted them and said, hey, I am a professional player and I really want representation, and here's what I'm thinking for my career, here's what I want to get to. And they said, okay, let's sit down, have a series of meetings, really talk about who you are, who we are as a company, and how we can work together to make your dreams come true, in a way that was not promising anything, which, again, as I mentioned in finding an agent and contacting agents in several videos prior, if they promise you anything, it's total BS, and I really don't think you should sign with an agent who's promising you all these really big things. They should be there to support you in your efforts, but they should not be there to give you or hand you anything other than to open a door that you've got to walk or run or sprint through. How did I get an agent? Just by contacting people, sending my highlight videos, sending my CV. I've got 2 videos, one on each of those things: how to make a highlight video, how to make a CV, and I've put them on my channel, so go check those out. Those will be really helpful for you guys moving forward, and they're all with free platforms, so you guys can use whatever you want to get those sorted. But I would say, again, it's all about consistency and contacting people who you think would be a good fit for you. You've got to do the research. You've got to do the internet research. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. It's really important that you take responsibility for yourself and your career, and you go out and you pursue those opportunities, so that when you come to a company like OPSM or you come to a company like Soccer Visa or somebody else, I know for a fact that as an agency, OPSM, you come to them and you say, hey, I have proved myself at the NPL level, or I've proved myself at the NISA level, or I've proved myself at the UPSL level or the college level or whatever, and you say, I just want representation. I am prepared to do what it takes to get to the next level, but I'd love to have professional representation, and they can help you out with that. So again, it's all about taking onus on, you've got to take responsibility, you've got to take grip on that situation, on your own situation, and just go for it. Those are the questions for this week. Thanks again, guys, for everybody who submitted. Make sure you go to my Instagram, follow me at noah.cavanaugh, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, first of all, but second of all, make sure you go and submit questions. It'll be Monday Pacific Standard Time in the morning that I'll be posting like a little short video and just say, hey, ask me anything down below, and there'll be that little question box. You guys can ask whatever you want about football. It'll be awesome, and then I'll post it both a 10-second video on my Instagram, and then I'll also be posting a longer form Q&A here on the channel. So that's it for the video, guys. Thanks again for joining me. If you do have any follow-ups about any of the topics that we talked about here, pop them in the comments down below. I'll write them down for a follow-up for next week's, and I'll compile all the questions and we'll put them all and answer those for you guys. So, and of course, if I can't answer them, I will do my very best to get answers from other professional players or other collegiate representatives like coaches or other things. So if you do have questions that involve somebody who's not me, I can do my very best to go find those people to ask them, because they'll know much better than me. So that's it for the video, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video if you got value from it. And of course, be awesome. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.